Right now, it seems like the FIA is a sinking ship. In the space of a month, 3 high-profile staff members have left the sporting body, which suggests all is not well with one of F1's most powerful parties. What is the FIA? To start with, we should explain exactly what the FIA, or Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile, to give its full name, is. It's a French organisation formed to represent the interests of motoring organisations and car users. It was established in 1904 as the Association Internationale de l'Automobile Club Reconnu and began the organisation of Grand Prix racing in 1922 through its sporting delegation, the CSI, Commission Sportive Internationale. Under the FIA, new racing categories were devised for Grand Prix racing, including Formula 2 and Formula 1, and in 1950, the modern F1 World Championship came into being. The FIA's most prominent sporting role is to license and sanction Formula 1. The FIA, through the creation of rulebooks and the supply of suitable personnel for adjudication, creates a level playing field for competitors and ensures the sport is as safe as possible and all rules are adhered to. In short, the FIA is responsible for the government of the sport, so in football comparisons, if Formula 1 management is the one who owns the stadium, the FIA is the referee. But the battle for control of F1 between the FIA and FOM has always been going on pretty much since both parties existed. Who runs it? As a huge global organisation, the structure of the FIA is quite complicated and divided across its various remits. But at the very top is a man named Mohammed Ben Sulayem. The 62-year-old Emirati took over the presidency at the end of 2021 in the wake of the Abu Dhabi race and immediately set about making changes. Whereas Jon Todt has peacefully run the organisation for a number of years, Ben Sulayem was determined to stick to the rulebook, and it got him into a lot of bother, most notably when it came to track limits and Lewis Hamilton's jewellery. But it's not the on-track matters that have got Ben Sulayem in the news, but rather what he says off it. This time last year, Ben Sulayem got himself into hot water when he suggested a bid for FOM was inflated and insulated falsely that the FIA had a right to say who could buy F1. This landed him a strongly worded letter from FOM reminding him just what he does and crucially does not have control of. A few weeks later, and sexist comments attributed to him on his personal website were unearthed in which he suggested that no woman is smarter than a man. The backlash from this and the nemesis he made in 2022 saw him commit to taking a step away from F1's day-to-day running, and he left it in the hands of single-seater director Nicolas Tombazis and newly hired sporting director Steve Nielsen, but now that arrangement has changed. Who has left? In the last week, the FIA has lost another senior figure in the form of Tim Goss, who has left his role of technical director. This news comes less than a month after both sporting director Steve Nielsen and head of the FIA's Commission for Women, Deborah Mayer, also departed, suggesting not everything is well at the FIA. According to a report, Goss is expected to join an F1 team, but in his leaving message, there was a little clue as to why he was going. He said, "It's been an honour to work as technical director at the FIA and to help shape the future of the sport. I take immense pride and satisfaction from the numerous achievements of the technical department during my stint at the FIA. The department boasts a number of highly talented individuals, and I believe the organisation is on a firm footing in terms of technical expertise for the tasks which lie ahead, particularly the introduction of the 2026 regulations." But Goss is another well-liked figure within the paddock, and the reason why Nielsen left is even more alarming. Steve Nielsen has a long history within F1, and at the time of his appointment, he seemed like an excellent fit for the job. In 1986, he joined Lotus before moving to Tyrrell, where he was later appointed assistant team manager. In the next 5 years, he moved to Benetton, back to Tyrrell, to Honda, then Arrows, before moving back to Benetton, where he spent almost a decade as sporting director. After spending 2012 as sporting director at Caterham, Nielsen joined Toro Rosso at the start of the 2013 season, then Williams as sporting manager in December 2014, and worked in that role until leaving in July 2017. On the 1st of August 2017, he started in a new position as the sporting director of Formula 1. So, by the time he arrived at the FIA in January 2023, he was one of the most experienced members of the paddock. But 11 months later, he was gone. According to a report by the BBC, Nielsen stepped away because he did not feel the FIA was willing to make the changes he felt needed to be implemented, a damning indictment of how Ben Sulayem is running things. Nicolas Tombatsis, who's been left to pick up the pieces, said of Nielsen's departure, "Steve has been a fantastic asset to the single-seater department over the course of the 2023 Formula 1 season and has been part of a crucial year of development and positive steps forward in our activities," he said. "There is, of course, still a lot to do, and we will be building on these strong foundations over the coming years. We wish Steve the best for his next challenge." Is Ben Sulayem's time numbered? These departures, crucially, come at a time when Ben Sulayem has once again put his foot in it. While he never publicly claimed it was his idea, the FIA launched an investigation into Toto Wolff and his wife and F1 Academy Managing Director Susie, which set the whole paddock against the FIA. The investigation was caused by a report from an untrustworthy F1 publication, and one that almost everyone had agreed to dismiss, except the FIA. Their investigation lasted all of 2 days and had all 10 teams denying a complaint was made, painting the FIA an extraordinarily bad light and one that could get worse with Mercedes contemplating legal action. The result of this latest gaffe is that Ben Sulayem's position is looking more fragile than ever. FIA presidents have a term of 4 years, but already it's looking likely that Ben Sulayem may not see out his tenure. He's made enemies within F1 teams and within the F1 structure itself, and the one thing the last year would suggest is that it's only a matter of time before he does it again. Where does the FIA and FOM go from here? As we mentioned earlier, FOM and the FIA getting into fights is nothing new. Even though there's been recent talk of FOM splitting from the governing body, they are just a few decades into a 100-year lease and have a problem with the people rather than the organisation as a concept. The most likely scenario is that Ben Sulayem will do something again, and that will be the end of him. But FOM and the FIA will continue on without him, as it's done for decades previously. For the time being though, Ben Sulayem seems determined to hold onto his powerful position. He most recently said, "I'm just asking for clarity and fairness. I'm not involved in the stock price or ticket sales. We just need fairness here. That's my mission. We define clarity between ourselves and the FOM liberty. That's good. We need to understand who I represent. I represent the head of the house. We're not a service provider. No, we're not. I keep saying that and I believe it too. But friction is sometimes healthy to bring out the best. It's like with your body. If you wake up in the morning with pain, then at least you know that something is wrong." As always, thanks for watching this video, and let us know in the comments if you think Ben Sulayem should step aside as FIA president. In the meantime, be sure to like the video and subscribe so you never miss a release here on the DRS Straight.